and armor, and VTavilo is now expanding all over the bottom side of the map, so Avilo is looking to be in a great position here. The swagger ghost, the gangster, is still alive, it's still chilling, and Bosnic has no idea about its existence. I don't know if Bosnic even cares though. It looks like Bosnic maybe just be gearing up for a late game uber push. This game now is 30 minutes into the game, and no real big battle as of yet. There are 4 nuclear missiles in production. Oh my god, we could see some nuclear holocaust. Oh, a feedback on that ghost, takes it out quickly. These 3 ghosts are actually gonna get surrounded. Gets their EMPs off on all the Protoss ball. All the Templar losing their energy. Avilo gonna use a stim now. He just needs to clear out the charge lots and he'll be able to finish off this Protoss ball fairly easily. Maybe not. My face is actually turning red right now because I'm screaming so loud. So I may need to calm down a little bit here, guys. Avilo is gonna back out of here, and his energy, his health is kind of low here, I gotta say. I don't know if Avilo's in a good spot here. He may have overstim. That's why you don't want to overdo the drugs. Never good for your health. These Marines and Marauders need to run back and let those medvacs heal them, but even the medvacs are tired of healing these drug abusers. And Bosnic is in a great position to push the Terran, but another nuclear missile. Oh my god, it looks like this, it looks like there was a nuke earlier over here, so this could be nuke number 5? Nuke number 5 has landed down and killed off all the robo bays. Really nice nuke, I've got to admit. And we have a nuke number 6? Alright. I am completely mind blown as to why Avilo is nuking himself. I don't know what the idea behind that was. I guess he was trying to do a defensive nuke in case the Protoss was attacking, or maybe he just hates tree huggers and he wanted to burn the trees down. I don't know. So Avilo now has launched 7 nuclear missiles. This is in complete transgression of the Geneva Conventions. You're not supposed to fire this many nukes off in a game. This is illegal. And Avilo has launched an 8th nuke and a 9th nuke. He's launching a defensive nuke. Oh my god, this nuke over here is gonna land and do a lot of damage. Well, not really that much damage. Gonna kill the ghost. And the other nuke right here gets canceled at the last minute as the Protoss ball runs away. Oh, that would have been pretty sick. Now Avilo's gonna be launching another nuke, and he's dropped off into the Protoss at the 9 o'clock expansion. Gonna try to do as much damage as possible, forcing the entire pullback of Bosnic's forces. And Avilo here with a pretty good drop. If he can pick off this Nexus, that would be a nice pickup. And indeed, he does just that with those stimmed up Marines and Marauders. And he's gonna hightail it out of there immediately, ASAPly, and get out of the way. But this game so far, guys, we have seen 9 nuclear missiles launched. And I don't know if Avilo is going to do more, but at this point, this game has already been epic. In fact, let's just look at some of these other tabs. I haven't pulled these up in a while. 79 harvesters for Avilo. Army tab showing that he's actually behind in supply. Resources showing that the Protoss player has banked 4,000, whereas Avilo is actually not banking nearly as many resources. He's going to need a federal infusement of funds from the government. He's going to need a quick investor's cut, but oh, he's going to do another double nuke here. Oh, right over the warp gates. This could be a nice nuclear missile, and keep in mind he's got 3 more nukes in the bank, and this could take out all the warp gates and the pylons. Gonna kill off several of the gateways, and warp gates and pylons, and he's gonna launch another nuke at 3 pylons. You know what? I like this mass nuclear strategy. It's really making the Protoss player just go nuts because he doesn't know where all the nukes are coming. But at the same time, is it cost effective? Those nukes cost 100 gas, 100 minerals. I mean, think about all the scientific research and, all the R&D that goes into creating a nuclear missile. It ain't cheap. You can't just make one in your backyard. So I don't know if this is the most cost-efficient use of his nukes. That is a nice nuke, though. Definitely to scare away the Protoss army. You do not want to run into that little red dot. And of course, he can just cancel it to save his arse and, don't want to lose his stuff. And hello, we have the Neo steel frame bunker. Not something you see every day. It's actually something you see in custom games more than you see in normal games. But anyways, the Neo Steel bunker is up and running. Another defensive nuke here. Avilo really scared about Bosnic's massive force. And I think that was like the 12th nuke that has been launched this game. This game is just gone insane. And oh my god, 2 nukes being launched right here in the back at those warp gates. I don't know if there are more nukes being used, but it looks like a Vilo has now attacked and found this expansion. Those 2 Ghost Academies could go down fairly quickly. Nuclear missiles raining chaos in the Protoss main. And I mean, what the hell? Just look at this Protoss main. It has been nuked to death. There's almost no buildings left standing. A Vilo is just... This game is just insanity. I'm literally, my jaws hit the floor, my face is turning red. I need to calm down a little bit because there's just so much nuclear missile action going on in this game. Once again, you guys hear more nukes being launched. I'm not exactly sure what the location on those nukes are. So unfortunately, I apologize guys, but there's just too many nukes going on in this game. I don't know where they are. But safe to say that, you know, if you look at the map right now, Bosnic is on 5 bases, but he's been continually harassed and nuked this entire game. Here comes another nuke. Oh, it gets killed off. The Ghost gets killed off, so nice little kill of the Ghost right there. And Vilo is just nuking the ground. Oh, the Observer actually scouts the Ghost. Thank God for that OBS. You know, I would love to see a Vilo commit something to killing off the OBS because there's only 1 Observer in this entire game. If that OBS went down, that nuke could really land on this Protoss ball. Looks like a Bosnic here is gonna push on the ground. Gets his entire force EMP'd, but that will slowly regenerate over time. Ghosts now have made the Protoss main their new home and are actually using their auto attack to kill off the Protoss Nexus. Alright then. This game has gone from weird to crazy to just insanity. Another nuke has been launched, ladies and gentlemen. I do not know where. There we go. Yeah, 100 minerals, 100 gas to kill off a cybernetics core. That is always worth it. So Vilo here is going to launch a nuke on the cyber core. Doesn't even manage to kill it. And it looks like, oh man, if he can kill off this Nexus, that would be huge. He will not be able to get the Nexus. Oh, the Nexus survives with 25 HP. Just barely. Once again, another nuke. And, you know, this is just insane, guys. I mean, this game is like World War III. Literally, this is what would have happened in World War III if the Cold War had just gone the wrong way. And there are just nukes being fired everywhere. This is insane. Look at the Protoss main on the mini-map and the natural. Nukes have completely ravaged the countryside. I mean, there's not even critters crawling around in the map. You guys notice there's usually a critter here or 2 there? There's no critters anywhere. There's nothing alive. And, I mean, if this was real life, the world would be gone 10 times over. So, Avilo's even nuking himself. I mean, obviously this is a defensive nuke. Avilo is hoping that the Protoss ball is going to be moving into this location. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I mean, it would have been really nice. But I think Bosnic is just a little bit smarter than that. He wisely has, what are they called? Observers everywhere, so he can see the nukes. And oh, Avilo gonna, oh my god! I don't think that nuke is gonna land in time. Bosnic could lose a lot of harvesters, but it's not gonna happen. The nuke is gonna be just moments late, ends up killing off some of the buildings or weakening them down a little bit. And we have more nuclear missiles being launched. Avilo targeting buildings rather than units. How interesting is that? And here comes the nuke. Havoc, just absolute havoc in this game. This game is just insane. And now Bosnic is running back with his main Protoss ball to defend against that Ghost. Now, let's just look at this game, guys. Who is winning at this point? Because, yeah, actually, you know what? Avilo is definitely ahead. He's got 82 harvesters. He's nuked himself a victory. He's got, I mean, the Protoss army is still very, very big and alive, but I mean, just look at the mini-map. The Protoss has migrated his entire base. I mean, look, there's nothing left in the main now. It's been nuked to shreds. The Protoss has migrated and rebuilt everything at the bottom left-hand corner of this map. So, effectively, the Protoss is on 2 base. Avilo is on 1, 2, 3, I guess that's not 4, but you know, about 4 mining bases, 5 mining bases total, and the Protoss is about to lose another base. Avilo is up inside the I guess you can call this the new main now. New main! That sounds like a state or something. New Maine, New Mexico. Anyways, Avilo is now inside New Maine, and he's going to be able to take off a couple of buildings here or there, and I think he's probably going to retreat and get out of there pretty quickly. Bosnic coming in here with his reinforcements, and Bosnic still has a very, very big army in this game, guys. Look at, I mean, just look how many charge lots, Archons. I believe he has some Templars here or there. Yeah, he has 1 Templar. Not really that many, but he still has a very large army. There are 3-1-3 in terms of upgrades. That is still a very strong Protoss ball. Bosnic, all he needs are some Colossus, really, to augment that ball. And thankfully, Bosnic has now gotten some robotics facilities, so he can make some Colossus. Because remember, his robotics facilities all game long have been nuked to death. So finally, he can add some Colossus into his army, and it's still a very deadly army, no matter which way you look at it. So this game is not determined yet, but I would still say Avilo is ahead, but Bosnic still has a chance in this game. All he needs to do is, I don't know, just go down south here and attack these expansions, pick them off one by one, and be very careful not to walk into a trap. Don't walk into a nuclear missile. That could definitely ruin your day. So I guess Avilo's strategy here is hopefully to land a nuke on one of these, one nuke on this Protoss ball, and that would be his key to victory here. Avilo here gonna do just that, launching a nuke from the low ground here. The Protoss army does not see these nukes coming, kills off the planetary fortress, gonna be able to get out of there, I would imagine. Oh my god, I don't think the nuke is gonna do too much damage. In fact, doesn't do anything at all, but the ghosts do land a couple of sneaky EMPs off on those sentries, really nice. Meanwhile, Avilo dropping off inside the new natural. And he's going to be able to do a little bit of damage. Picks off the Nexus, in fact. Does he have any dropships to get out of here? Oh no! He may have trapped himself here. He may have used the stim a little bit too much. And these Marines and Marauders, oh my god. They are all going to go down. They have nowhere to run. Avilo, this could be bad. Bosnic, if after he takes out this entire army, has a clear shot at moving out and possibly killing off some of the Terran expansions. Maybe even going after the heart of the Terran and going after the production facilities. Oh, Avilo gonna use yet another nuke, but I think the nukes are a little too early. Yes, in fact, these 2 nukes, once again, a little bit off. And I mean, if Avilo could just land these nukes at the right time, he could do so much damage to the Protoss, but he has missed the nukes on the army time and time again. It's just a little unfortunate, really. And what are these 2 ghosts doing? They're like having a little shady drug deal here behind the trees. But once again, more nukes being launched, really trying to kill off that Nexus. No Nexus standing is a policy of these ghosts, and I think this nuke will be able to do it. No, it will not, actually. Nuke does 500 damage, so that's going to leave it with 37 health, and the ghosts should be able to shoot it down with their sniper rifles. Oh no! Bosnic, the DEA, has found the ghosts doing the illegal drug deals, and like the good DEA they are, storm the front door and kill the guys inside. So, Bosnic is still moving around the map with a very large army. Avilo has a pretty measly army in comparison, I've got to say. I mean, he's only got a couple of Marines. I mean, he just has a ton of SCVs. That's what he's got going for him. But in the end of the day, I really think he needs army to deal with this Protoss ball, and I'm not sure what Bosnic is waiting for. He needs to push and make something happen. Meanwhile, his main and his new main and his new natural have been dropped off, and they are doing a lot of damage inside the base. Going to be able to kill off all his pylons as well. Finally, Bosnic pushing out across the map. Down to the bottom right-hand corner. He's going to be able to do so much damage, and he's going to be able to kill off. Well, he's able to kill off that planetary. He should be able to kill off this one and this one as well. It looks like everything, meanwhile, inside the Protoss main is getting completely annihilated. No more nukes for now, and, you know, that gives me time to catch my breath, in fact. And take a little sip of this Red Bull. Yep, we'll need a little bit more Red Bull to keep this game going, because this has been insane so far. Bosnic has taken out the planetary at the bottom right-hand corner. Gonna be able to take out the planetary right here as well. And that is exactly what Bosnic needed to do, guys. I mean, he needed to kill off these expansions down here because Avilo was just getting infinite mining here. And finally, this game has, well, Bosnic has given him a better shot at this game. Now, what do we have? More nukes coming down. It looks like a couple of nukes getting launched over here. Gonna be able to kill off a lot of these pylons. And look at the supply count for Bosnic. He's at 171 over 154. That's about to change because a lot of pylons are gonna go down. Oh my god, he is so under supply right now. He needs to resupply himself immediately. The store manager is very, very mad. Bosnic here is at 170 over 106, and he cannot produce additional reinforcements, although, you know, I doubt he even cares all that much. He is warping in 5 pylons anyways. But, yeah, these nukes, you know, they're just everywhere, but they're not hitting the core things, which is the Protoss army. They need to hit the Protoss army, but I still gotta commend VTavilo, guys. VTavilo is an absolute boss for playing this kind of a strategy. I've always, you know, I always go to sleep and dream, what if one day we could see a game where a Terran player just does nothing but nuke all day long and just tries to nuke for a win, and finally we have a player that is doing it. So my hat's off to you, VTavilo. You have made my wet dream come true. You have nuked yourself into a possible victory. It's not determined yet, but it is certainly a possible chance. VTavilo now taking the high ground here. I like this. This is a really good nuke. Bosnic is going to be able to pull probes out the line. Oh, good pull by Bosnic. Once again, getting those probes out of the way. So he will be able to mitigate his losses. In fact, not really losing too much at all. Even the probe there, look, what a lucky probe. Being inside the assimilator right as the nuke was landing. But a second nuke is now coming down. Is Bosnic prepared? Yes, he's going to pull his probes off the line once again, and now the Colossus are going to come in along with the Obs, and that should be able to kill off that ghost. Yeah, not a good way to die, but a valiant death nonetheless. Who can, you know, how many people can say, yeah, I died, but, you know, on my tombstone write that I launched 2 nukes off? That's a pretty awesome resume, if you ask me. Now, VTavilo has a pretty large Marine Marauder army in the middle of the map, finally has amassed himself a decent-sized ground force, and this is what he needs to finish this game off. Pushing in, using stims a little preemptively. I see he wanted to pick off the Colossus there, but no, not going to be able to do that. Good movement by the Protoss player, keeping the Colossus with the main army, and now VTavilo has really overstimmed himself once again. I don't like this. Using the stim a little bit too much. He needs to fall back. Storm getting landed down, not doing too much damage. Bosnic here is going to be able to push in, and he's going to clean the floor of VTavilo's forces. VTavilo just using absolutely everything. That was a Marine Marauder graveyard there. That was like Jamestown in New England. But yeah, that was not good for VTavilo. And now Bosnic at 141 over 120 has a really good sizable lead now and is looking to gear up to push out and for the first time today take some kind of a lead in this game. You guys can see now VTavilo a little bit concerned, has raised his supply depots. In anticipation of this push, he doesn't really have that much of a ground army to defend against us. He may have to use another defensive nuke. In fact, that is what he does. And I don't know, Bosnic, I would have stayed there. I would have stayed there and keep fighting and then pull back the last second, force VTavilo to really land that nuke rather than canceling it, because then VTavilo would have just blown up his own stuff. But Bosnic playing very conservatively. And he is going to fall back here and find another place to fight. These Immortals and these Stalkers and Archons. I don't know. I'm kind of bored right now. I mean, it's a 54-minute game. Let's look at some of these portraits. These portraits are pretty awesome. I was looking at the Immortal for a second there, and that guy just looks really cool. Where is it? Not that one. Oh, that doesn't even look like an Immortal. What are they thinking? That looks like a Dark Templar or something. But anyways, Bosnic now is pushing down to the bottom right with some of his army. He is going to see this planetary, and he should be able to take it out. The planetary fortress is focusing down the Zealots first, which, you know, not the best. Planetary fortress gets taken out. And Bosnic here is doing some pretty good damage, but in the middle of the map, VTavilo has a pretty sizable army once again. And what the heck is he doing? Is he going to distance mine the minerals here with mules? I mean, I guess, sure, why not? But anyways, it looks like VTavilo is engaging the Protoss army here, has a chance to actually pick off some of these Colossus. Bosnic has built him up a pretty sizable Colossus ball, and oh no, VTavilo doesn't have that many Vikings. He could use 2 or 3 more Vikings, because what he needs right now is an army that can one-shot the Colossus. Oh, a nuke! A nuke has gone down! Bosnic in a lot of trouble! Bosnic, if he stays there, he could take a lot of damage. Storm's going off on the Vikings, and VTavilo trying to maneuver himself so that he can get the Protoss forces nuked, and the nuke comes down, but not doing that much damage. Whittling down the shields of the Protoss ball just a little bit. But remember, that is why Protoss are so cool. They have shields, they can regenerate. I mean, remember from Protoss lore, guys, if you're a Protoss, you never die. You know, Zealots, they go to Ire, they go to Heaven, Ire's Heaven. Dragoons, they become Immortals. I don't know what Stalkers become. Stalkers got the short end of the stick. But Protoss had a religion, they would convert me pretty fast. So anyways, Bosnic now is pushing off at the 2 o'clock